The motto for world-class competition has always been faster, higher, stronger. It's the same for Navien, makers of condensing tankless water heaters. Faster to install and set up. Higher performance and efficiency to provide endless hot water. Stronger with the industry's strongest warranty. All because of the copper-free stainless steel heat exchanger built in every unit. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
The cabin is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. But first, Mike, you were just talking about if people had breakup lines as cheesy as pickup lines.
Yes, sir.
Someone added, our relationship is like Mike Hawk doing headlines. I'm not working on it.
I like it. That's pretty good.
Just be careful with the name. She might misinterpret that. Today, we chose Professor Greg Patton at the University of South Carolina. Southern California, USC. Now, because of COVID restrictions, Greg was teaching his class online, and he was giving a lecture on filler words. Filler words, if you're not familiar, it's the nonsensical sounds that we make between actual words. So things like and we all use filler words as we try to crystallize our thoughts. And as Professor Greg was explaining, almost every native language has its own filler words, generally based on the base, right? So a lot of the Romance languages, Spanish, Italian, English, we go and a lot, but it changes depending on your dialect. And since he was teaching a class explaining that every native language has its own filler words, he was teaching a class on Chinese business culture. And he made the mistake of giving an example of the most common Chinese filler word. So during his lecture, he said, and I quote, if you have a lot of ums and ers based on your native language, like in China, it might be niga, niga, niga. Well, in this world of phony wokeness, a group of students, they threatened to withdraw from the class because they felt that he was dropping the N-bomb. Professor Greg was immediately suspended by USC because he was teaching a course that they've already put the okay on. So because the word apparently, particularly as he was explaining in the Chinese business class, that this particular filler word is used almost exclusively in the business world, not in other things, it is in fact pronounced niga. All right. The students instantly said they're going to withdraw from the class. The school, without question, already suspended the guy, and all I can think is wait until these kids learn geography and learn about Phuket, Thailand, and Lesbos, Greece. And they're going to get, hey, man, these are places, right? They're going to freak out. So anyway, yeah, we're toasting poor Greg Patton. I hope you get your job back, bro. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. And they have footage of the video. He's teaching a class. He's as boring as any college lecturer, just doing the thing. But as soon as he said it, for whatever reason, I don't know what it takes to get to USC. Isn't that the school where they, like, Lori?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
If these kids that go there are that stupid, I don't think your kid should have any problem getting into USC. And if USC as an administration is so stupid that the guy teaching Chinese business can't teach them a Chinese word, which, by the way, is the equivalent of going, that's not a school you need to send your kid to. But
yeah, I think that's silly, right? The administration can step in and go, he's teaching a word.
Right. And it's a filler word. And look, it's Chinese, right? I'm sure they have plenty of names for black people. In my experience, everyone does, but that's not the one. Anyway, poor Greg, dude. Just get a different line of work. Leave those dummies alone. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
All right, Chris, you understand how this here game is played?
Indeed.
Fantastic. As always, you have one of three stories to choose from. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guessed for an object that ended up inside of someone.
I'm feeling like the wonderful world of drugs today.
The wonderful world of drugs.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. You know the drug he wants is more Viagra. He has to take 4 pills for that hog. All right, here is your story. A man was arrested in Sheffield after being found with multiple drug-related products. On August 18th, the Sheriff's Office, Colbert County Drug Task Force, and the Sheffield Police Department served a search warrant on Sterling Boulevard. Now, the Sheriff's Office said that multiple items were seized, including 241 grams of a high-grade drug, 12 bags of Fruit Looped flavored edibles, 3 bottles of drug-laced embalming fluid, as well as laced cigarette wrappers, a gun, scales, and surveillance equipment. David Drumgood, he was arrested and booked into the Colbert County Jail for possession of drugs in the first degree. The Sheriff's Office says another suspect was given a misdemeanor and citation of possession for the drugs, but he was released as he was not part of the business. Now, all of these items he had were related to one specific drug, depending how you want to take it. So my question is, which drug was it? Was it weed, Molly, acid, or PCP? So weed, Molly, acid, or PCP?
Well, the embalming fluid, as I understand it, is a synthetic form of doing PCP, so I'm going to have to go with that.
That's what you think he was making all that stuff with?
Yeah, I don't know how else you would have cigarette leaf and embalming fluid on you, or why.
Well, it doesn't say he had embalming fluid on, does it?
No, he does. He had embalming fluid that was laced with the drug, and then separately, he had drug-laced cigarette wrappers.
So it's not weed.
I don't know what the 241 grams of whatever is, but maybe he had the real thing, too.
I mean, it's not a bad guess. I mean, with weed, you don't need embalming fluid unless you're making a sherm, right? Or is that with a cigarette tip?
I think it's both, right?
Yeah.
But wait a minute. I'm confused. He's going into jail?
He's going to jail. Now, they served a search warrant on his residence.
All right.
And this is what they found. 241 grams of the main drug, then 12 bags of Fruit Loop laced drugs, edibles essentially, 3 bottles of laced embalming fluid, and then a pack of laced cigarette wrappers. As far as the drugs.
That throws me off because the edibles have to be marijuana.
Depends on the festival you go to.
Yeah, I am, Chris, I'm going to go with weed. I think for some reason it's weed.
Well, yeah, and he's right, too. Like, that's what embalming fluid was used for back in the... I knew people. That's what they used to do.
Right. Sure.
But that's to make PCP. Yeah, and the edibles... Yeah, I'm with you. It kind of feels like it's... that the main drug they found, and they measured it out in grams, I think, would be marijuana.
Ted, you sticking with that?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the
weed.
Okay. Chris, you sticking with the PCP as your final answer?
I'm also confused because I guess you could put embalming fluid on weed to make a kind of a double effect. So I'm going to go with weed also.
You're going to go to weed.
Because he's got the wrappers too, right? So I mean, the way I had seen it done, trust me, I never partake. Was people would roll blunts and then dip them into the embalming fluid.
Okay. So we're all on the hook for weed on this one. Is that what we're getting?
Yeah, I just want to wish my friend Raymond a 35th birthday while I'm at it.
Oh, you missed a birthday request.
While I'm discussing drugs.
Right. Hey,
Raymond.
Molly.
Roll up that sharp.
We're going to find out what this guy had. Was it weed, Molly, acid, or PCP next?
That was a tease.
I need a change. You've been cold to me too many times. You're wasting money. You're a leaker. So I'm replacing you. with a new Navien tankless water heater. No more cold shoulders, no more leaks, just spa-like comfort and Navien peace of mind. And oh, I want you out today.
When you're ready for a change, ask your plumber about Navien or visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
Back to the conversation. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Guys arrested on drug charges in Sheffield. Multiple items of drugs were found, all kinds of different stuff, but they were all pertaining to one drug, which was the bulk of what they found, and that was going to be used in everything from edibles to cigarettes.
Hell yeah.
Everything in between. Question is, was it weed, molly, acid, or PCP?
All of these are fine choices, of course, but Chris, we asked you to narrow down one, and you came out of the chute saying PCP, which is exactly where my mind was, just based on all the separate things that he had. But you listen to the knuckleheads known as the Ted Smith and Miles Montgomery. They both agreed weed. In the end, you sided with them.
Okay,
you are correct.
All right, we're all winners today. Yes, we don't feel good about ourselves. Very good.
He's obviously rolling spliffs and mixing it all up and creating
edibles.
Well, you had your SHRM knowledge, which, oddly enough, came in handy for this particular story.
I did, for the record, tell Mike during the break. I said, look, there was only one guy I ever knew that did it. He's in jail or dead.
Yeah. Right. Most of the guys you knew back in the day that did SHRMs probably not doing great now.
Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, some choices today.
Okay.
You could have Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers.
Mr. Myers.
You could have Jimmy Fallon.
Mr. Fallon.
Conan.
Oh, Conan.
Mr. O'Brien.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's it. All these guys have teams of professional writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, are these actual late-night jokes, and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
The era of the cell phone is over. According to a new survey, the overwhelming majority of people would rather have you text them than call them. The only exception is people over 55, which is not news to anyone under 55.
Jimmy Fallon.
Ted Smith.
Yeah, Ted Smith.
Yes. And you're right.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Like I once had to tell my mom in Disney World, stop leaving messages. I'm going to see you in a half an hour.
Oh, God.
Right? Like my father's the only person I know. Like, unless it's like something important.
Right.
But generally, you don't need to leave a message.
No.
I'll get it. I saw you call it. This weekend in California, a wildfire was started by a smoke-generating pyrotechnic device. Oh, my goodness. They use pyrotechnics? Seriously? It's a gender reveal, not a KISS concert. Yeah, it turns out the couple is expecting. 6 months in jail and thousands in legal fees.
I'm saying either Seth Meyers or
Jimmy Fallon.
Seth Meyers.
Jimmy Fallon.
Son of a...
This weekend in California, a wildfire started burning, and it was caused by a pretty unlikely source.
The El Dorado fire here in San Bernardino started by a smoke-generating pyrotechnic device used at a gender reveal party.
Oh, my goodness. They use pyrotechnics? Seriously. It's a gender reveal, not a KISS concert. Yeah, it turns out the couple is expecting 6 months in jail and thousands of legal fees.
Just stop gender reveal parties and just stop them. Nobody cares.
Just have a party. If you really need a party, just have a party.
We got too many parties. I said this on the Maincast today. Like, listen, I did not make a commitment to get married or to have a child. Yeah. I got to go to 5 frickin' parties for both.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You know what it really is about? What color are we going to paint the kids' room?
Right, fine.
That's it.
Paint it green.
A man in England is planning to buy a home using the proceeds from the sale of 28 bottles of scotch his father gifted him every year for his birthday. It's the first known case of somebody getting rid of alcohol during the pandemic.
Seth Meyers.
Kevin LeBron.
Seth.
A man in England is planning to buy a home using the proceeds from the sale of 28 bottles of scotch his father gifted to him each year for his birthday. It's the first known case of someone getting rid of alcohol during the pandemic.
A new survey out asked people, have you ever had a roommate with a really weird habit? Well, yeah, it's called having a roommate.
Fallon.
Seth Meyers.
Touchback!
Touch Smithereen.
There we go.
Nice.
Got one in. You guys see this? See this one?
Jay Leno.
I know.
Heard about this?
The founder of Jelly Belly, I think we heard about this. The founder of Jelly Belly announced he is giving away a Florida candy factory as part of a nationwide treasure hunt. It's great until you find out the factory only makes all the buttered popcorn flavored jelly beans.
Conan?
Fallon.
Fallon.
The founder of Jelly Belly announced that he is going to give away a Florida candy factory as part of a nationwide treasure hunt. It's great until you find out it's the factory that makes all the buttered popcorn flavored jelly beans.
Oh.
The people in the audience were like legit like, oh.
That's disgusting.
Wait, but that was the people in the audience? That was probably just the Roots.
Yeah. I guess the Roots do not like butter flavored popcorn jelly beans.
Right, I was going to say, or the camera guy.
Watch your mouth, Jimmy. Roots don't play that ass.
Blackish is getting another spinoff.
Another one?
Can you guess what they're going to call this one?
Hold on. So they have Blackish, they have Mixedish.
Blackerish.
That's black licorice. Hold on. Whitish?
Oh, plenty of those already.
Yeah.
Oldish. It's going to star Lawrence Fishburne and Jennifer Lewis.
Okay.
Oldish. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's back to the 55 or older. Joke from earlier. Just a bunch of stuff that older people don't get.
Yeah, and I get it. What's it? Barnes, right? Isn't that the dude that writes that show?
Yeah, something Barnes, yeah.
I don't want to screw it up, but yeah, man, to his credit, man, they just spin those things off left and right.
Mm-hmm. He has a big Esh empire.
He does.
Wasn't he involved in the Goldbergs too?
Ish. No, the Goldbergs is all of these shows. Like this guy's kind of writing about very loosely his life a little bit. Goldbergs is from a guy whose last name is Goldberg.
Okay,
and it's just his tales.
Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin, yeah.
No, not Martin. Wait a minute.
Jesus, wait. Fart.
Anyhow, right? Because I watched this show on Netflix. I thought was great too. And it's kind of like Larry David. They're all kind of loosely based on his life.
Okay.
I will say also, sadly, you saw that Black Panther, Jackie Robinson, he passed away. I had not seen Black Panther yet, but I watched it recently. What a movie.
Great movie.
What a movie. And there's so many actors in there.
Dude, that's one thing about these Marvel movies. You go in a little cynical, going like, all right, and look, they were all very well done, so it's not that. But you go like, all right, superhero movie, but they do a pretty good job with them. And I am stunned at some of all the A-level actors that show up in these things. Like, that also might be why they do well.
Yeah.
Because they have some very good actors playing the roles.
And maybe a handful of people knew what was going on with him?
I think family, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, right. I mean, right. That's a lot of things. It looks really sad, too. Some people kind of got on him a little bit about not doing a ton of interviews or this or that. But then you realize, but in everybody else's defense, Chadwick kept that very personal. Nobody knew he was battling cancer for 4 years.
Well, probably he didn't want to do interviews, and every interview is about battling cancer.
Right.
You get one to two groups of people. You have the people that do nothing but talk about their cancer fight, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then you get other people that they just don't want to discuss it publicly.
I will say, often when I'm on a flight, I watch rom-coms, but I was watching Black Panther, and every time a new scene starts and they introduce something to so many people, I'm just going, oh, yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the sister is on a show I watch out of England called Top Boy and stuff. I was like, oh man, they got that guy in there. They got this person.
Tons of people.
Yeah, I was just blown away. And granted, I'm going to start watching more, Marvel, DC stuff because those movies are super good and they're super entertaining.
I would say lean Marvel. Even my kid, dude. He was 7 at the time, but I want to say the Justice League movie hit on demand, whatever it was. And I'm like, hey, man, you want to watch Justice League? Because he had seen a trailer for Aquaman, And he kind of liked it. He liked the trailer, but he liked the trailer because what's-his-face plays Aquaman.
Yeah, I shouldn't have
He's
started.
just a big badass
I shouldn't have
dude.
started with Aquaman.
No.
That was not good.
Well, the first one I tried, and Mike told me I was wrong for this one, was Suicide Squad.
Okay, that's nothing like... Right.
Everybody was like, that's not the way to get into it.
No.
But also, like, I love Michael B. Jordan. Right? I think he's great.
Yeah.
I watched Black Panther, and I was like, man, the hell with Michael B. Jordan.
He did a good job making you hate him.
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead, Jay, give me one of these.
Did you watch a rom-com on the plane or just Black Panther?
Did I watch one?
Did you get the cheese plate?
I'm not going to say.
Why?
But they just offer the box stuff.
You
now,
got the
right?
cheese plate.
I'd get the cheese.
It's only offered in certain areas. So I'd rather not comment.
So you didn't get one. We'll just leave it at that.
No.
I got 3 of them, bitch. Unlimited.
Yummy.
We're the only one to get them. I ain't poor.
I don't even like brie.
Look at me up here. And you can't see it through the curtain, bitch. It's cheese.
Let me drop a piece of cheese next
Stop
time.
coming up here to pee. I told you, here's my free cheese.
Trust me, I told everybody's like, you flew that? I was like, yeah, it was $200 cheaper than my flight last year. But
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah, if you're going to fly first class, this is the time to do it when the airlines are like begging for you to do it.
So obviously sports are coming back. College football's back in an amazing way.
Go Navy!
Somebody should remind Navy that you need to still tackle in football.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of rumors that they don't, that they didn't have any padded practices. And I go, I don't think that's a rumor. That looked like a bunch of dudes that hadn't actually hit anybody in months.
Can I say something else from going to that stadium for, 5-10 years? It seems like everybody is redoing their stadium now.
Yeah.
And that looked like one that was redone in Annapolis. I mean, it looked like a beautiful facility.
Oh, Marine Corps Stadium. They redid that one, let's say 8 or 10 years ago. It looks awesome.
But now that nobody's sitting in the seats, you can actually see how nice the stadiums actually are.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great looking. That looks much better than when I used to go.
Yeah, dude, trust me. When I used to go to those games, like it was,
you parked in someone's yard,
and there wasn't that many stuff around there. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Trust me, I was fired up for that one. But it was good just to see college football back on. You know, I just I don't know how to explain it. It's a Saturday, you're drinking a beer. I
get it.
Watching Texas State.
Yeah,
that was like a barn burner of a game. And I was like, I'm Mr. College Football. I never heard of Texas State. Turns out they just became Division I a couple years ago.
Okay. I was kind of shocked that both the guys that coached BYU and Annapolis Naval Academy are both guys from the same town in Hawaii. I was like, that's random as hell.
That is about as random as it gets.
Because, I mean, you think like maybe one guy comes out of there? Because when they named the town, I was like, you hear all the big places in Hawaii. You know those names. You know, I've never heard this.
Wow, we just go to visit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a great high school program over there that I think, I'm not positive, but I think that's where that is what producing a lot of the same guys from the same town. So the NFL obviously is going to start up soon.
Tomorrow.
It is crazy too. Like, I watched Hard Knocks and stuff. I'm explaining to people, like, it's just weird because for Seattle, our summer didn't start till super late. Right? Now the summer's starting, but we haven't seen like NFL players like hitting each other outside of like seeing walkthroughs. And I know that each team had 2 scrimmages, but that you're so used to seeing a scrimmage. It's just hard to fathom that, like, oh yeah, they're going to strap on the pads and for real go play football.
Miles and I were talking about this earlier. So it begins tomorrow, though, at Houston taking on KC. And I'm like, your offensive line, your defensive line, none of them have hit anyone, not for real, because the scrimmage is different than the game. Because the games count. There's only 16 of them, so these guys, you're playing lights out. How many, what percentage of players go with an injury first week? Like per team?
Really early.
Did you think about, I mean, again, no one's hitting, it's not their own fault, but I mean,
nobody's got timing.
Has hit anybody. I think the defenses are going to play well, quote unquote, play well for the first few weeks because that always falls to the defense's favor. But man, oh man, these guys are going to get killed out there.
Right. So the other thing too is like the good news for the NFL is that they only had one player out of 2,641 test positive for COVID-19.
Hey, baseball.
I'm glad you said that. Right. So that's a very low percentage. That's 0.01%. which is great. Anyway, I got that percentage right. Basically, here's the deal. The NFL only had one.
Right.
Baseball had a bunch more, but baseball also has a ton more players and teams. So the NFL percentage is actually lower than the baseball one.
Sure.
And how about the Mariners?
And this was during the preseason. So, yeah, I mean, it's something's going to happen. Goodell's already said, hey, if we got to play fewer games or whatever. So, like most things at this point, I don't know how any of this shakes out.
Nobody does.
Right.
I want tomorrow because I want to see some NFL, and then I just want Sunday. Even if I get one Sunday, to sit in my chair, stare at my TV, and tell the kids either leave me alone or shut up and watch the game.
You know me, I'm into golf, so I'm watching the Golf Channel because that stuff's live. But between the Mariners and the NBA Finals, there's a lot of good stuff to watch sports-wise. Yeah, I mean,
you got hockey going on.
Miami got in last night. They beat Milwaukee. It's kind of a big deal because they were the number one seed.
You're right. And the Mariners, they're
on fire.
We were joking with Mike when all this started. Like, look, I don't care. If you're a Mariners fan, it doesn't matter.
They have one of the youngest teams in baseball.
Yeah.
So you got to think how well they're doing. I mean, I think they've won 9 of 12 or whatever the streak is. It's not like the Mariners.
Very non-Mariners.
So it's very good.
All right. So now I have crushing news for everybody.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's over.
What is?
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
Oh, I read that today, and I don't know why it made me happy.
Because they don't have any kids left?
No, I think, honestly, you know why. The ratings hadn't been as good as they had been in years. But the funny thing is and trust me, I was never a big fan of the show or whatever, but it is amazing. I mean, the cultural influence that show has had.
That's one thing you can't take away. We all bitch about it, and they're so stupid. Maybe all of that's true.
We know
but
who
they have
Scott
a huge
Disick is.
Yeah, correct. You said it correctly.
I don't even know.
And to his credit, if you ever watch some of the shows, I watched a super clip of him the other day. He was the funniest dude on there. Because they joke around about, he was like, dude, maybe if I get a butt, I can be as rich as you guys. Or, he had no,
no ill will.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm just saying
he had no qualms about
doing
no
filter. Right.
Yeah,
He just was like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I'm on this show. I've been dating Courtney, which was always my number one, for years or whatever. And he was always quick with the joke or whatever and didn't seem to mind. But I mean, hell, that show started so long ago.
20 years. Or 20 seasons, maybe 14 years. Is that
20 seasons, right. That's what it was. 14 years, 20 seasons. I read a thing today that said, remember, Seacrest has been an executive producer,
right? Yeah.
I heard part of it was he started filming some of the initial scenes and stuff. So number one, the ratings went down. Now number two is every reality show you see, almost every single one of them is scripted. Of course. Right? And I can tell you how it goes, right? It's something, drama in the shop, feel good thing, third segment, and that's a half-hour show.
Okay.
They have a system for it. But after a while, they get too systematic. You know what I mean? And for the Kardashians, and granted, they were out early with this kind of reality TV, so nobody really knew that the shows had systems yet. So for the Kardashians, they just they did it for so long and were so good at it that after a while, even their viewers were kind of like, all right, we get what's going to happen here. And then other than that, I think I can't believe I'm going to say this. They might have gotten tired of being in the public eye.
Yeah.
You notice Kanye's been having a breakdown. Kim was like, we're not filming that.
Right.
And Kourtney Kardashian was like, I'm done with it. Caitlyn Jenner was Bruce Jenner.
And if you like
when it started.
Yeah.
If you like, the Kardashians, watch what they watch. Watch the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It's close to the same show.
It is. I saw Tristan Thompson get interviewed on something, and I was like, Khloe Kardashian's ex. I'm like, I hate that I know that.
Yeah.
That man played in the NBA for years, was a productive player.
Lamar Odom played in the NBA. What do you think?
Right? Lamar Odom, that's a championship, and I'm calling him Khloe's ex. What's wrong with me?
Who's the guy? And I read this the other day. The quarterback for the Steelers who got his head bashed in with a helmet from Miles Garrett. Rudolph. He was dating some kind of, I don't know, reality star or whatever.
All right.
So I guess maybe that her ex-boyfriend was the quarterback that they just signed as the backup.
In Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Oh, Duck.
Yes. So
yeah.
The Duck man. All right.
The Duckster is going to be the backup, and his ex-girlfriend is dating the starting quarterback. And if that's the starting quarterback, I'm sorry, Steelers. You are effed.
He is not.
He is not going to be starting?
No, Roethlisberger's going to start until he gets hurt. All right.
Yeah, I mean, right, there's always a lot of stuff. But that's the other thing, too, though. When you're a pro athlete, you get to run with those high-end Instagram models.
Right, they look awesome.
Just make sure they don't go on podcasts and tell them what you like.
Yeah. Oh,
hey, just saying.
I'll be all right with it. I'm like, I like it, but I get to do it with hair.
Where the B stands for brown, and the O stands for oh.
Thank you, Ted.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
No one thinks about their old hot water heater until they run out of hot water.
Oh, no.
Or until it starts leaking.
Oh, no.
If your tank water heater is over 8 years old, a leak could cost you a lot more than higher energy bills. Consider upgrading to a Navien tankless water heater. No tank to heat or leak. And endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. Navien turns...
Oh, no.
...into...
Oh, yes.
Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go to Nebraska for a delicious crash involving a beer truck and a taco stand.
Dummy.
Meanwhile, a man blows up his own kitchen trying to kill a housefly, which was not his plan. Drunk driver crashes his car into a drive sober or get pulled over sign. I'm sure the drunk woman caught chewing on a horse's mane is doing just fine. And a man called 911 1,000 times asking police if they wanted to buy his egg rolls. It is time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, top story. We go to Memphis, Tennessee, where a man was arrested for misuse of the 911 system. The man was arrested after calling the 911 system several times over several months, never once reporting an emergency. He started getting creative with his calls, asking the operator if he wanted to buy egg rolls before disconnecting the call. After 2 months and over 1,100 calls, the man was finally tracked down and arrested.
I would have taken the egg rolls.
Sure, at that point, right?
Like you've called me 1,000 times, bro. At least bring me some egg rolls.
Look, can I sample them? And then maybe if they're really good, I'll buy them.
Right. Bring them down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But still, it was like 1,170. It was closer to 1,200 calls that this guy made in the course of 2 months.
What do you think it is that just get, he has called more than I've heard anyone else, but there's other people that have called, 200 times in a day, and it's the same thing. It's not to report anything. It's just, is that loneliness at its worst?
That's psychotic behavior, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing's that funny.
No.
If you find that funny that many times, like something's wrong.
The guy runs a business, though. Look, man, I understand what you're saying, Ted, but the man's in charge of a business. He actually had egg rolls to sell.
Oh, he actually did?
He actually did. He legit runs like a Chinese restaurant.
No, exactly.
I like this guy a little bit now.
You can still be psychotic.
That's fair.
Try my psycho egg rolls.
Yeah. Did he just...
Just don't ask what's inside.
Why is there a whisker in my egg roll?
Oh, criminy.
Yeah.
In other news, over in Lincoln, Nebraska, a car that failed to yield caused a crash, and a great combination. According to officials, the car struck the side of a Coors Light truck, causing it to swerve and to regain control. Unfortunately, the truck wobbled and weaved until it drove off the road and directly into the local taco restaurant.
That's kind of the perfect combo, is it not?
Yeah, a nice light beer and a taco or two.
You bet. It's phenomenal.
I'm in. Yeah.
Basically what I had last night, nachos instead of tacos, but yeah, it worked.
Same difference.
Love it. 2 people were taken to the hospital to be treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Were you planning on having tacos?
No, I was not, Ted. Thank you.
What were you planning on having?
I was trying to make stuffed chili peppers, but I don't know what happened.
What did you stuff them with?
Refried beans.
Okay.
Just a little refried bean and cheese combo, but I put them in the crock pot, and I think I must have done it wrong because it almost came out like soup.
Well, yeah.
And so
something wrong.
You could have made it a dip.
Maybe. Well, that's the thing. My lady being smarter than I did, she said, throw a can of refried beans in there again to thicken the thing up. She said, let's lay down a bed of nachos. I said, that's perfect. Mm-hmm. It was phenomenal.
Saved the day with nachos.
I'm so happy. Speaking of great crashes, we go to Florida where a 22-year-old made some bad driving choices. Driving at over twice the legal limit, the man was driving in the middle of the night when he decided to check on his phone. Out of nowhere, the man managed to crash into an electronic sign that read, "No joke, drive sober or get pulled over." Police arrived on the scene and he was arrested.
Or crash into this sign.
Right.
I mean, it's just of all the things.
My favorite is when people hack those signs. Put up their own message.
I want to see one so bad. I've seen them all online, but I want to drive by one that's been hacked.
Yeah. And right, because I'm with you. I'm always like, is that real? Is that just an internet thing? It'd be cool to actually see one.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. There was actually a little while there that it looked like they had put up the code to where you could...
you could go in and hack it?
You bet. Now, I wasn't willing to try, but...
Yeah, like these electronic signs in town should be like, say, bridge up. Sorry, dude.
You're right. Yeah. It's going to be a while.
Back to Lincoln, Nebraska for the latest edition of Stupid Criminals. A man walked into the local Walgreens and bought himself a pack of cigarettes. Given that he was on the younger side, he was asked to show ID to prove that he was old enough to buy them. Shortly afterward, the man jumped over the counter and stole bills from the register before grabbing cigarettes and running out of the store. The clerk was able to give officers a copy of his driver's license, and it didn't take long for him to turn himself in, given that he was at least smart enough to know that he had screwed up.
Yeah,
well, they had his license. They know where he lived.
They had a very clear image of his license in the surveillance camera after he had shown the clerk his license to prove that he was over 18.
I mean, right. If you're going to jump over the counter, do it before you show ID.
Right. And again, I have a little bit more respect for this guy for
turning himself in.
Right. Calling the cop and saying, yeah, I'm coming.
Sorry, I'm a bad criminal.
I'm sorry. Over in France, things got way worse for a man attempting to eradicate a pest. The man spotted a fly buzzing about in his home and attempted to kill the insect using an electric swatter. What he didn't know was that he had a leaky gas canister nearby. The spark created by the swatter was enough to ignite the gas, causing a massive explosion in his kitchen. And while the man is okay, save for burned hand, his kitchen was in need of some serious repair.
Because of the fly.
Right.
Well, at least now he knows he had a gas leak.
Right. And that's what amazes me. You'd think that there'd be a smell or something, and instead of gas canister, are people just hanging around with like big old propane tanks inside their homes?
Man.
Oh. I mean,
there's a gas leak, but they said a canister, right? So it's not coming from his stove.
Right. It's not coming from any kind of piping.
But it also says you can take it outside. I don't know. I don't get it, but...
I'm with you.
But he got the fly. Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Sticking with intoxication, a woman in Tennessee was arrested for having quite a time. The woman was spotted and police were called, where she was found shirtless, eating grass and dirt in the enclosure of a miniature horse.
Oh, it's a miniature horse?
It's a miniature horse.
Oh, that makes it worse.
Why?
Visually.
I think that makes it perfect.
Really?
I agree with
If you're going to be eating dirt and grass in a horse enclosure, thank you.
Horse room.
Like, for some reason, it seems like it should be a miniature horse, because it's already insane.
Right, it should be as crazy as it can be.
Thank you.
And that's it, right? So she swung for the fences and hit it.
Better than a bow, I guess, on a viola or violin.
What's better, the deputies found her chewing on the horse's mane, claiming it was, quote, made of Laffy Taffy and Airhead candy.
Oh, okay.
You know that horse was like, please
I like
help
both
me.
of those.
Please help me. Please get this scary woman out of here.
Get her taken away, please. So, no shock there. She was arrested.
Does it say what kind of drug she was on?
I'm sure it does somewhere.
I mean, I know she was drunk. Right? Yeah, I've been drunk, but none of what she did is something I've ever thought about.
She probably doesn't remember what happened. She actually didn't know where she was. That is it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
All right, thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for Big Dummy. The head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. Be safe, Bonnie Lake.
Yes, indeed. Please do. In the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
You can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on